Part 1. What I found to be most poignant about Malouf's poetry is the way he evokes cerebral images of nature whilst also heightening the fleeting temporality of our own morality. Malouf also cleverly employs intertextuality as a way to substantiate his positions on the fragility of the human spirit in the face of nature. I was influenced by James Joyce's poem All Day I Hear the Noise of Water, which I use as a framework to underpin the motif of life and death within my imaginative piece. By drawing inspirations from Aquarius and Aquarius II, I wanted to incorporate these themes through the symbolic motif of drowning, coupled with the overwhelming magnitude of the sea's breath. I was drawn to Aquarius's personification of the sea. The sea's breath deepens from oyster shell to inky blue upon blue, heaped water, crowded sky, which I wanted to include in my own imaginative. However, I wanted to capture the ocean as both magnificent but deathly through the drowning motif. This is incorporated in the simile I used. Deafening crashes toppled his body in defenceless circles, like an incessant and violent washing machine, fractured by time and place. This idea connects with Aquarius II and the alliterative swimming through space, which exemplified how humans are pale in comparison to the nature and universe. I also wanted to focus on Malouf's reference to music and Mozart, and the way he beautifully connects nature to make him one with himself, as art separates and divides him. I did this through the idea that the central protagonist returns to unity within my narrative. Malouf's poetry resonated with me as it connected the core of silence, deep layers of experience, which were attainable only by a distinctive, sometimes broken music of words. For snow, hope, pines, Mozart. This links to the quote in my story. Beethoven's slow movement of his fourth piano concerto is echoing fast, piercing him like an accidental dagger. Death speaks. Malouf persuasively employs vivid imagery to beautifully describe the natural world in Aquarius II, and a feathery pink in the sky of an angel event, end quote. I also wanted to focus on this hyperbolic imagery within my own imaginative piece, but instead I captured the intensity of the ocean through a contrasting description of blues, lights, and dark images. In the final moments of my imaginative piece, there is a shift in tone and the persona finds peace in death. This aligns with the transformative idea explored within Aquarius, through which we live as though we are immortal. However, like my persona, something inside us changes, and we gain a realization that life is only temporary and death is a foreign concept. Part 2. The two significant language choices that I focused on in my imaginative composition was the use of intertextuality and the symbolic motifs of both drowning and the piano to signify a shift in tone, remedying what Malouf describes as content now. Intertextuality is used in my piece through the repeated motif of both Beethoven and the piano. The intertextuality of Malouf's poetry and prose is an essential aspect of his total work as he incorporates a parallel with words and music, described in Aquarius II as sacred, perhaps with salt and sun motes. In my own story, I incorporated one of Beethoven's most tragic pieces with the quote, "And suddenly he hears the old piano from his childhood, yet the sound is not as peaceful as it once was. The chords are no longer tuned, instead the keys are being played too loudly, piercing his ears, pummeling his brain." This lyrical imagery evokes language in a state of grace, as Malouf describes it, akin to that of music. This same sense of retreat and peace is echoed in the final quote of my imaginative piece. A piano drifts slowly on the sea, and he is playing it. Beautiful Beethoven echoes through the ocean breeze. The sea is innocent, placid and calm. He takes his first breath and recalls Beethoven once more. "Thank you, sublime one, I die free of guilt." This also marks a shift in tone that is a significant feature of Malouf's writing that I used as a language choice for my own imaginative piece. Through using the natural world as inspiration, Malouf's poem Aquarius induces ideas regarding human mortality. However, the Volta, quote, "There is more to darkness than nightfall," signifies a change in tone and perspective. The poem uses distorted imagery, caught reversed in a mirror's lens, to highlight the moment when we realise we are only mortal, in order to express concerns about the unknown life after death. However, in my piece, the change in tone transforms from intense fear, as encapsulated in the quote, "He could feel his lungs screaming for air, crying out, as my legs and arms thrashed around wildly, to a shift in light. The dark blue slowly begins to glisten like a dragonfly. The darkness seems to become lighter with every attempted inhale. He's no longer scared, but rather waiting to finally see the light." This similarly aligns with Aquarius II, which is not as concerned with the fears of the unknown, but rather through the motif of movement, reflects that humans are powerless when compared with the powers of the universe.